Okay, going to start off with drafting plate B5. Going to do the first activity, which is B5a. That will be this first activity. Before you start it, please make sure that you have your title block all filled out. Just like the other drafting plates that we did, this drafting plate will just be called Drafting Practice. On your name, please make sure that you put your last name, comma, first initial. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do, this activity tells me at the top to reproduce this great pattern in a 4-inch square. So the first thing that I need to do, with nice dark visible lines, using my T-square and my 60-30 angle, I'm going to create one horizontal and one vertical line. Make sure everything stays square. I'm going to create those two lines. That's how I'm going to start it. Then I'm going to use my architectural scale. I hope I got this line long enough. Yep, I'm going to make a mark at 4 inches on the horizontal, and I'm going to make a mark 4 inches on the vertical. I'm going to go ahead and create that square, and it looks like I got this line just a little tiny bit short, so I can add to that. And I'm going to come in and do my vertical on the right hand side. I will use my eraser, and you could use your eraser shield here. Clean up those corners nicely. Brush. Clean things up there. Okay, step number 2 is I'm going to look at the measurements around. I see from right here that I need a 5/16 border around this. So step number 2 is I'm going to use the basic side of my architectural scale, and I'm going to count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/16, carefully measuring all the way around on all 4 edges, 5/16. The bottom, so top, bottom, right, left, I'm going to make a little tiny mark at 5/16. Then I'm going to draw myself some nice light guidelines on my 5/16 marks. I'm going to do 2 verticals on my 5/16. And then all I need to do is I just need to come back in with my eraser shield and clean up those edges here, here. Be careful and don't erase too much of your border. If you're drawing light guidelines, it shouldn't take too much to get rid of those edges. Okay, step number 2, what I'm going to do, I know that I have to have a 1/4 inch area centered up vertically and horizontally. That's an easy one to take care of. I'm going to find the center of my square, which is 4 inches, and I'm going to divide that 1/4 of an inch in half, so that means I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch on either side. So I'm going to find the 2-inch point and then measure 1/8 of an inch on either side. I'm going to do the same thing on this vertical surface. I'm going to go 2 inches and then 1/8 of an inch on either side. Then all I'm going to do on the 1/8 inch marks, not on the 2-inch center, on the 1/8 inch marks, I'm going to draw some light guidelines. So that 1/8 inch here plus the 1/8 inch there gives me my 1/4 inch. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go here. Light guidelines there. And there. And all I need to do, use your eraser shield. I'm going to do this kind of quick to get me through the next part of the activity. You can pause this video as you need to get through the steps, but I'm going to erase these. So now what I have is I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 little individual squares that I can create my grate pattern. The next thing that I need to do, I just need to go through and do my layout. Each one of the openings in the grate is 1/4 of an inch. That's this measurement right here. Each one of the spaces in between the grate pattern is 3/16 of an inch. They give you that measurement here. So all I need to do is line up vertically first, and I'm going to count 4, then 1, 2, 3, slide it, count a 4th, 1, 2, 3, slide it, I'm going to count a 4th, 1, 2, 3, and then my very last measurement is 1/4 of an inch. And all I have to do, I just have to go in and darken all of those lines. I'm going to come down. I've got my fourth, my 3/16, then I just have to use my 60-30 angle, and I'm going to come over and I'm going to cap the end of these just like is in the activity up here, so you can kind of see each one of those, how they kind of develop. And there's the first one. Then all I'm going to do is erase. Happen to be a little off. It looks like my last one is a tiny bit off. Don't panic about that. Just go on to the next activity, and you're going to do the exact same thing again. You're going to go a fourth, then 3/16, 1, 2, 3, fourth, then a 1, 2, 3/16, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4. So there. And I'm going to do the same thing, except this time I'm going to draw vertical lines here and here, then my 3/16, then my fourth, then my 3/16, and you can kind of follow them along as you go and see how that works out. And then I'm going to come to the outside of this, and I'm going to go my fourth, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this one that I did on the other one. I'm just going to come to the top, and I'm going to cap off every other one, and if you look, I'm capping off every other one on top and bottom, just like before. And if you drew those initial lines nice and light, you won't have to do this, but you can go through and clean up the little lines between. And there you have the first two sections. I'll go ahead and do the same thing down on the bottom. You notice these are going vertical, so I'm going to do these layouts vertically here. And I'm going to go a 4, let me set it up, a fourth, 1, 2, 3/16, 1, 2, 3, 4/16, which is a fourth, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's perfect. So then I can do my verticals here. Remember, I'm going kind of fast on this, but you should be pausing this video as needed so you can catch up on the little activities. I realize that when I do this in class, I go around and assist people. You can rewind this little video as needed so you can get these activities done kind of at your pace. I'm going to cap them off again. Remember that I'm capping off the 1/4 inch, not the 3/16. Don't make that mistake. Cap those off. Going to come in, erase that a little, and clean it up. Then I'm almost finished. I can go with my measurements down this side again, just like before. I can go a fourth, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Oops, moved it a little bit. I'll reset again. Fourth and 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That one turned out perfect again. So all I've got to do is go in and darken my lines. There, there, 3/16, a fourth, 3/16, a fourth, 3/16, and my final one is a fourth. And then I just have to use my 60-30 angle along with my T-square to get those verticals. Make sure that you're using the drafting tools correctly, just like you've been taught. Cap those off. I'm going to come down. I'm going to cap those off. I'm going to clean up the little lines in between. And then the very last thing that I'm going to do before I call this activity completely finished, I'm going to come around and I'm going to clean up all of my little marks because I want it to look as nice and neat as I possibly can. And if I have accidentally erased any lines, I'm going to come in and I'm going to darken those up and try not to do any overlaps on any of my lines. Just where I clean things up, I want them to be nice crisp and dark. I'm there. I'm coming to the bottom one. I am there. And there you have activity. You don't have to write this. I'm just writing it down for you. And this is B5 Part A. And then in the next video, I'll show you how to do B5 Part B, which is the little lattice pattern. And okay.